everyone, and welcome again to the Otherside Europe podcast series. This is Agora Europe, a series on human mobility and the European political space. I want to welcome, first of all, Oscar Fernandez, Iñigo Mijangos, the captain and the head of operation of aitamari, Salvamento, Marítimo, Humanitario. I'm speaking to you from Andaille in France on the Basque border. They're speaking to us from Pasai also on the Atlantic, but the other side. And I also want to give our warmest welcome to Virginie Lefèvre, who is working for the association AMEL, and she's speaking to us from Beirut. She's also the secretary of Agora Europe. To you, Virginie.
Thank you very much, Caterina. I'm also very pleased to introduce Caterina, who's the founder and president of Agora Europe and postdoc at Studio Europa. As Caterina mentioned to us, she's currently in Andaille at the Basque border on the Atlantic. Over to you, Caterina.
Yes, actually, Oscar, Iñigo, and I are separated by 15 kilometers, but one of the borders that we cannot cross right now with COVID-19. So the aitamari is currently there since a while. So my first question to you, and the warmest welcome to you too, would be, what's happening with the aitamari? Why are you blocked in Pasai d'Oniban since a long while? Who blocked you? I know it's the Italian government. And when are you leaving next?
Well, thank you very much for inviting us to be part of this turn of chats and interviews. We are happy to be here and also to share this space with so relevant people in the other interviews. So aitamari right now it's in Pasai d'Oniban in the border, as you say, between France and Spain. And we are finishing the works of the last PSC done in Palermo, in Italy, where they say that the ship was unsafe, just applying some rules that they are not applied for this ship. So right now we are finishing these works. So and we hope that in the next days we will have clearance to go again to the SAR zone.
Thank you, Iñigo. And I just wanted to remind that the Otherside Europe podcast series is a series on, how we can look at Europe, have visions of Europe from overseas, from the other side. So we're not currently talking from the Atlantic. Your next mission is, of course, going to be in the SAR zone in the Mediterranean. And here to you, Virginie.
Thank you very much, Caterina. Our second question would be, in order for us to get some more information about your upcoming mission, what are going to be the routes, the stops, and so on?
Okay, I prefer to speak Spanish. Sorry for my English.
Sure.
Bueno, nuestra próxima misión es salir de aquí de Pasaya cuanto antes, como ha dicho Iñigo. Creo que estamos terminando los últimos papeles burocráticos que nos impiden todavía salir. Y como ha comentado él, estamos pendientes de una inspección PSC, la última que nos hicieron en Palermo. Nuestro primer destino va a ser parar en Oporto. Esperemos que allí nos hagan la inspección de PSC-MOU y salgamos limpios de esta inspección. El problema que nos planteamos es si ahora con el problema de la pandemia de la COVID con el 19, Portugal nos hará inspección o no. Pero bueno, nosotros vamos a parar en Portugal, supuestamente tendremos que pasar esta reinspección y posteriormente parar en Málaga. En Málaga se unirá todo el equipo de voluntarios, médica, enfermera, socorristas y algún periodista. Y allí directamente partiremos a la zona SAR, de la zona SAR libia y maltesa, con el objetivo de cumplir con nuestra misión de dar cobertura a todas esas personas que salen de Libia. Ese es nuestro objetivo y esperamos estar en zona SAR Libia muy a principios de diciembre. Sería nuestro objetivo estar a principios de diciembre, estar en zona SAR.
Gracias, Oscar. Mila, Oscar. And for our English speaker, the routes basically is going to include 2 stops, one in Porto, in Portugal, and then in Malaga, where actually the boat is going to welcome all of its volunteers and the civil fleet. And then, of course, the following stop, which is not a stop, is going to be the SAR zone. I wanted to ask you if you could tell us more about the general situation of sea rescue right now in European borders. We can focus later maybe on specific zones, the central Mediterranean and the Atlantic, because that's going to be one of the hot topics right now. But yeah, just a general situation. Thanks.
Well, right now, the civil fleet is facing this strategy that is following the European Union. That all the ships that from one reason or others, they are arrested or detained or stopped in different ports, mostly with this strategy of the PSC, that they are using this administrative tool for just frozen the civil fleet. So the last one, it was Open Arms, that right now it's on quarantine, and they are applying quarantine to the rescue vessels. This is a measure that is not applied on the merchant vessels. So if a merchant vessel make a rescue, they don't request to make the quarantine. But if there is a vessel from the rescue civil fleet, it's mandatory to make this quarantine once we disembark the rescue people. So right now, Open Arms is in this step, and we don't know if after that they will make again a port control inspection, and we will see. So in this moment, the only chance and the faster chance is aitamari. So we hope next week to be released, to be ready to go, and this is the situation. Specifically with the Canary Islands situation, it is Spanish public services which are covering this area. But in this point, the problem is not assets. So there are enough boats and patrols covering this area. The problem that for the civil rescue service, there is only 25 workers, and there is not enough crew members to make a proper shift and to make the rest and to make the proper service. That this is one of the main topics that they are requesting the unions of Salvamento Marítimo, the public service, but it's not attended by the government. So also there are also the patrols from the Guardia Civil, that this is the border control, let's say, people, and this is okay. I mean, they have enough staff for doing the border control, but for rescue, they are not deploying new assets. They are not deploying new people on the Canary Islands road. So this is the situation right now in the maritime pathways that they are following the people on the move.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I just wanted to say that in the next couple of weeks, we're actually going to have an interview also with Manuel Capa from Salvamento Marítimo, so the Spanish Coast Guard, precisely from the Canaries, south of the Canaries. Virginie,
yeah, give my greetings to him.
Yes, of course we will.
We will for sure. Could you please describe for us, according to your knowledge, what is the current situation in the southern Mediterranean and in Libya?
Well, in southern Mediterranean and Libya, recently we have also a meeting and a chat with UNHCR. And I mean, the situation in Libya, I think it's quite clear that it's an unsafe country, it's a war. There is a government recognized by European Union, but it's a very weak government. And also we have also a general on the west part of Libya that is controlling a huge part of the country, and there are fights. And I mean, the control on the country is very difficult. And even some of the self-called Libyan Coast Guard, some of the captains or the people who is managing this court. They are also on the. You can find them on the website of the United Nations, asking them and researching for them as traffickers and as international, let's say, I don't know how to say in English. Delincuentes, we say in Spanish.
Delinquenti in Italiano, yes.
Yeah. So that's smugglers also for oil trafficking and so on. So that's the situation in Libya. It's totally unsafe country, and it's the people that are fleeing from Libya. In the last weeks, the last week it was 1,100 people that they leave from Libya. This is recently reported by Alarm, that they are raising Lampedusa or Sicily or Malta in the last couple of weeks. So there is still a huge volume of people in move, and they are fleeing Libya because it's totally a lack of safety there. And right now there is no resources, there are no assets on this region for rescue. There are only assets for doing interception of the people on the water and send back and push back to Libya, that it's a totally unsafe place for the people.
Yeah, thanks so much. So we're here, of course, also to support your new mission. So I don't know if in the next couple of minutes or questions, you also want to share with us, using the share screen, your website, where we can donate to you, buy T-shirts and other gadgets such as this one and yours. And in general support your new mission, of course. I wanted to go back to the Senegal situation. I mean, I'm saying Senegal, but really departures are from the south of Morocco, Senegal, and Mauritania. We've been seeing some kind of, going back to a route that is the deadliest one, that used to be one of the most used 20 years ago, up to 10 years ago. But it now is becoming the more and more used again. We have thousands of people leaving and, a few of them arriving. We got in less than a week 500 deaths. The IOM actually called for they actually mentioned that the most deadliest shipwreck of the whole year happened in front of the coast of Senegal. So I wanted to go back to that with you. Also because there is this narrative about NGOs, about sea rescue NGOs saying people are only going to leave if they know that there's an NGO boat waiting for them to rescue them. But that's not the case in the Atlantic.
Yeah, this is clear. I mean, also right now in the Mediterranean, in the Central Mediterranean, there are not NGOs, there are no rescue ships, and they are also still fleeing, and also it's a lot of people dying and trying to cross. But it's totally clear in the Atlantic that it was. You don't need to be very clever to prevent that it was happening. It was to happen. I was telling also in our meetings with the NGOs, telling, okay, let's keep an eye on that road because it's going to happen when it happened. It happened before in Gibraltar when they closed the other roads and Gibraltar was rise up in the up to 30,000 people in 1 year. And now all this movement goes to the Canary Island roads. Once they close the road of Gibraltar, all the people that try to cross from Gibraltar, they move to the south of Morocco and Mauritania and Senegal. And also this flux has been increased because of the economical situation in those countries, that their economy was based on tourism and fishing industries, and all this economy was totally destroyed because of the COVID. And we in Europe, we used to have some kind of backup money for situations, for this kind of emergency situation in our families. But this is not the same. It's not the same on those countries, on those economies. That is a daily economy for Senegal families or Mauritanian families. So now, when they have this situation, they have no chance to give food for the families, for the sons and daughters, and they try to find a solution for that, and that's why they increase. Not only because of the closing other pathways, also because of the situation on those islands, on those countries. So that demonstrates once again that the people find the way, the pathway to go. So it's totally mandatory if we want to face this question to offer to put in place, to put in practice legal and safe pathways for the people for entry. It's the only way. If we close now this road, it will be another one. Also, it's increasing from Argelia, and also we were talking before of the connection about the new roads in Cyprus. So it's going to increase these options. If we close Mauritania, it will be another roads. They are going to find the way.
Yeah, and I think it's fundamental, as you said, to mention the fact that the changes in migratory routes are always linked to the processes of externalization of borders that the European Union is putting into place. And that also has consequences on the number of dead people at sea. Virginie.
Thank you, Caterina. So you've been mentioning, Caterina, the EU policy, and we wanted to get your perspective as well on the new European Union Pact on Migration, and in particular, your perspective, recommendation on search and rescue, SAR, and your comment on the fact that based on all those things, obviously, the security of boats became more important than the security of humans, or that we're not balancing this anymore. So over to you.
Yes, this was a kind of surprise. Well, not too much surprise, because I think right now we cannot be surprised by the European Union resolution. The thing that will surprise to us is that they will put the people on the center of the question instead of the political, let's say, issues, just measuring by grams what are the consequences in terms of votes and in terms of political forces in Europe. So the recommendations into this migration pact was focused on the security question, and it's specifically done for private vessels or vessels handled by private organizations doing rescue. And this is a specific. It's not so. All this recommendation doesn't affect to the public resources, the public assets, and they are totally focused on the question of sharing information about who is on that missions and which are our intentions, and also sharing information between flag state and let's say involved countries in rescue, and also in security, security for navigation, security for the vessels, and all the recommendations were focused on that. We can't see in any of in a single line of those recommendations telling that the European Union is going to lead a rescue mission on the central Mediterranean or in any place of the European external borders. And this is one of our high demands, that they must lead. So we cannot stay here. I mean, this is not our we don't want to stay here. We don't want to stay on the borders. We want to go to our homes. But in the meantime, there are not public response to this emergency, that we understand that it's mandatory because of the European principles of solidarity and humanity. We demand to the public institutions to be here.
Thank you so much. Oscar, did you want to add anything that we haven't asked you? Oscar, qualcosa che non ti abbiamo ancora chiesto.
Bueno, más o menos estoy entendiendo, ¿no? La situación la ha explicado muy bien Iñigo. La Unión Europea al final intenta controlarnos. Las ONGs, yo creo que ya no les molestamos tanto en rescatar, sino en denunciar la situación de comportamiento de la Unión Europea. Ellos van a intentar controlarnos, nos permiten de aquella manera navegar, cumplir nuestros objetivos y nuestras misiones, pero siempre van a poner ellos la forma en que podemos hacerlo. Y para nosotros eso no es negociable. El objetivo es salvar vidas, ponerlos en un puerto seguro. En este caso, un puerto seguro no puede ser otro que no sea Europa.
Sí.
Y la Unión Europea va a intentar controlarnos administrativamente. Ya no, bueno, todos lo sabemos que ya no lo pretenden hacer a nivel judicial, sino a nivel administrativo. Y al final es crear una legalidad sobre lo que es un barco de rescate o no es un barco de rescate, cuando en el fondo la ley dice que un barco de rescate es todo aquel que puede socorrer a otro. Es así de sencillo. Es nuestra guerra, es nuestra lucha, pues seguiremos.
Sí, gracias, Mila, es claro. And yeah, we're now finally seeing, sorry for the technical difficulties, some of the pictures of the missions. Here, I guess it's Greece, right? Do you want to tell us something about what you're showing us, I guess?
Yeah, this is our team. We have also a team of medical team in Greece attending the people in the camp of Bial in the island of Chios, and these images are from this camp, where we can see how the people is living and in which conditions. So it's not only something that we demand the attendance on the emergency on the sea, of course, that it's a question of life. Also, once they cross the border, they are arrested and they are detained on these centers. It's awful centers where there is no humanitarian assistance to them. They are living in these conditions. And also, I think it's not only the rescue question, it's also how we assist the people once they are inland. This is Greece. We have more than 10,000 people living in these conditions into the islands. And also then in Athens, there is another, in Athens on the mainland, another for maybe 40 or 50,000 people living in these conditions. So I think this is important to say. This is winter time. We see how is all the water here, mud. This is garbage that is not collected by the services, and it's not COVID on the camps. We also have a epidemic of impetigo, that is an infection of the skin because of the living conditions. We have scabies. I mean, we have gastroenteritis. It's really, really hard living conditions when these people, they are fleeing for war and violence on the origin countries. And then many of them, they have with high psychological damage. And now they think that they are in a safe place, and they have this answer from European institutions. This is our people doing the rescue. One of those boats. Here we have the people in our clinic on the ship. These are images from the last winter. And here is our ship, our aft deck. Here we see the boats where they are coming here.
Yeah.
This is our arrival to Lesbos. This is aitamari arriving to Lesbos, because also we make two humanitarian missions, just bringing blankets and humanitarian aid to the Aegean Islands. This was our first mission, the humanitarian mission. Yeah. And if you want, I can share to you also.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, our website, if the people wants to support us and help us, here is our website. It's www.smh.eus. Here, whoops. And here there are some information about who we are and the two main projects that we have, aitamari and Chios. Well, some news and testimonies of volunteers and people.
I think we can actually see the website. I think you're seeing it, but we can't see it. We keep on seeing the picture.
You cannot see it. Okay, I don't know how to do this.
Maybe close the picture.
Okay. Yeah. Now I think it's here.
No. Wait, I'm going
now you can see.
Yes, now we can.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So here, sorry, I'm not very good in this.
Also, I guess
here it's
both is not that great.
So as I say, you can see what we are doing. You can follow up in this website, www.smh.eus, and here it's
as in Euskadi.
Yeah, Euskadi. That's why. So our two main missions, aitamari and kiosk project. And I think here it's also information about the expenses that we have, I think, or it's explaining it's a general, explaining some videos and so on. Yeah, I think it's here, some news, some testimonials. So here, if you want to become a volunteer, you have the contacts here for being a crew. We are looking for rescue people with certificates as rescues, or professional crew with, let's say, professional ticket, professional certificates, medical teams, doctors and nurses to be on Greece or also on the ship, and
Perfect.
And general volunteers if they want to support us in another questions. So you have here the contacts, different contacts for everyone. And if you want to become a member, a supporter of our project, then you can fill this form. And also for donations, again, here you can support our project. Oops.
Perfect.
Yeah. With the crowdfunding, supporting the crowdfunding, and also just buying some miles, different quantities, and also the shop, and becoming also a donor. So here you can find everything, and also the shop where you can buy the t-shirts and so on. You have in English, Spanish, and Basque. This is our language.
Thank you so much. I'm going to share the screen myself for a second because I have one last question. So here it is. Can you see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this was an event we held in Antalya.
And somewhere, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, I want to say that also I cannot find right now, but there is a place where you can find also the financial information about the SMH. So you can find also how we spend the money. It's also on the website that I cannot find right now, but it's anywhere on the website.
You can tell us. We can actually put it in the subtitles or just as a note later on. Thank you. And so we did an event that Agora Euro sponsored together with the Columbia Committee on Forced Migration, Maastricht University, Columbia Alliance, and many other organizations that you're seeing on August 29 in Antalya. The event was a public agora on water conceived as a border. And you were there. You were there, and the outcome of the event on October 3rd was actually a public declaration, a joint declaration on sea rescue done by Maydayterraneo, by you, by some of us, Etienne, Balibar, Diagne, Inerrarity, and many others. So I wanted to ask you more about that experience, about the importance of that joint declaration on sea rescue and in general, like joint efforts, especially when we're looking at the future of sea rescue. And as you were saying before, the creation of legal and safe pathways for people to come to Europe. Thanks. That will be the last one.
Well, I think it's somehow repeat the same things that I told before. So for us, it's very important the point that everything must be focused on the people, and it's the sea rescue. It's a mandatory, it's a mandate for European institutions. So all those recommendations that they say on the migration pacts must be focused on facilitate legal pathways for the people to enter in Europe. If we want to face this flux of people, if we want to face this phenomenon of migration and refugees, we must be focused on humanitarian practices instead of doing this border control. That's it's our message. We don't want to stay there, but we will stay there. In the meantime, there is not a public proper answer focused on the European principles.
Thank you so much. I don't know if Virginie or Oscar have anything to add before we say goodbye.
Daros las gracias por la oportunidad y por el apoyo. Y seguimos colaborando en el objetivo.
Sí.
And thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the work you're doing. So just as a reminder, yes, we publish on October 3rd because it's the National Day for the Remembrance of Victims of Immigration, our joint declaration on sea rescue. It can be found on Open Democracy, Mediapart en français, Left, and in Manifesto in Italiano. And so I also wanted to say just a few more words on the people who are going to join us for the next interviews. So in the next few weeks, so from members of the European Parliament, we're going to have Brando Benifei, Pier Francesco Maiorino, and Pietro Bartolo. We're going to have from the Chamber of Deputies in Italy, Rossella Muroni, Massimo Ungaro, and Erasmo Palazzotto. The NGOs, we did a few days ago an interview with Sea Watch, today with aitamari, Salvamento, Marítimo, Humanitario. We're also going to have people from Maydayterraneo, from Open Arms, and from CI in the next few weeks. Are also going to join us Giovanni Soldini and Ambrogio Beccaria, and among scholars Etienne Balibar, Inerrarity, Souleymane Bachir from Colombia, and Sandro Mezzadra. Last but not least, Manuel Capa for the next interview at Salvamento Marítimo. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, it's a very nice panel, very good panel of people.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's weird not to see you, you know, it's just like 15 kilometers and a closed border. So we're experiencing a little bit of what having closed borders mean also for us, right?
Yeah. This is a good experience for the people to understand what it means to be limited on your movements. This is a good experience.
Exactly. Knowing what like lack of freedom of movement means. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
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 Bye.